Hey everybody, it's Douglas, and today I'm going to walk you through Waggsy. It's a dog walking app, and it's going to be really fun. So let's just jump right in. We wanted to create a user interface that was both friendly and useful, and so we started off with our persona, and this is Donnie and her pup Tux. And Donnie travels. She wants to know that when she goes to a new neighborhood, she's going to have a quality, highly recommended dog walker. She was interested in engaging premium services, and ultimately it was all just about trust and having her know that Tux was going to be taken care of because he has some specific needs, and he's getting older, and she wanted to know that no matter who was taking care of him, they knew what they needed to do to treat him the best. So it all starts with the user flows, and in this case we really wanted to explore both the sign-up process as well as the flow to booking a dog walk. And so after some iterations and research into existing apps, we came up with a unique flow that we thought was really efficient. The next thing after some basic paper sketches was to put together some wireframes, and these are just really simple, not stylized prototypes for just figuring out how people are going to click through the app. And there's generally a round or two of iterations here where we can start to refine the process. So we started with the sign-up flow and the login flow, whether or not they have an account or they're a new account. We wanted to make it really simple and get them to, as quickly as possible, exploring the app. So after they sign in, they can enter some basic information for their profile as well as information for their pup, and then immediately start looking for walkers, sitters, trainers, groomers, anything like that. So the next part was to design the more complicated flow for booking a walk, and this allows users to add pets, figure out their times and locations, what services they need if extra services are needed, and then move on to looking at who's available, and they can filter those options, see them on a map, that kind of thing, and then using that information they can look at reviews or comments from previous customers and make a decision. They can then book their walk and communicate with their dog walker directly to make sure that they feel comfortable. Now, in order to really make the design process smooth, we designed the interface using components and modules. And modules are basically a group of components. And what makes this really nice is that if you ever need to change, whether it's the font or color or an icon, you just change it in one place and then it changes across your designs, which may be dozens or even more, hundreds sometimes of pages. And that's why it's really important to use components and modules when you're working on your apps and prototypes. All right, so the next thing we did was build an actual working prototype, and why don't we just jump into that real quick. So when you download the app, you're met with this splash page where you can choose to get started or use an existing profile, but we're going to sign up with our email address just to see what the onboarding's like here. And once we do that, we're prompted to create a profile. We can add our first image and some info about ourselves. Also that we're a pet owner, and add our pet. So here we can add Tuxedo. He is a border terrier, and he is microchipped. He is spayed and neutered. He is house trained. He's a little bit funny with kids. He's a little bit funny with other dogs, and he's definitely not friendly with cats. So his potty schedules every 4 hours or so. He has a high energy level, twice a day feeding, and he can be left alone pretty well. He actually kind of likes his own time. So once we're happy with that, we can add a pet, and now we can see he's there. If we wanted to also sign up as a walker, sitter, groomer, or trainer, we could check those, and that would lead us through another flow. But for now, we just want to sign up as a pet owner. And now here we go. This is a page where we can now choose what services we're looking for. So we're going to go with walkers. And here we can choose once or weekly, but in this case we're going to do a weekly walk request. And today's date, today's location, so that's all good. And we can select noon. So let's find the walkers. Here's the list of walkers, and if we have any favorites or previous, they would show up on those tabs. But since we're new, here we are. We're seeing the list of walkers. We might want to see who's close to us, so we can actually see Sally she's a pretty good option. And here we can also choose to filter, just in case we're still not sure, by location or date, all that stuff, price range, but also these additional kind of certifications and specialties. Let's just choose verified. Find the walkers. Now we are left with these two nearby us that are verified. Also Sally, we've already favorited her, so she seems like a great option. Let's go with Sally. From here we can look at her bio, read her reviews, and look at her availability. We really like that. We could also, if we're not quite ready to book with her, we could chat, or we could share her if we wanted to send her to a friend or something. But for now, let's keep the same info and finalize that booking. This would be a last opportunity to edit the various services and see the cost breakdown before you request this booking, and then put your payment info in and request the booking. And so Sally has gotten the request, and you can also customize it with a nice little message like that for Sally, and then send that message, and immediately you're popped up here. If you need to call her, you can. Otherwise, you can go home and keep exploring all the awesome services that Waggsy offers. All right, so the next thing that we did after we made the prototype was to do some user testing and feedback. We got users to review the app and answer some questions that we had considered of what was going to be the most useful for feedback. And that allowed us to not only see where there might be some issues as they use the app, but also what features they liked, what features they didn't, or what they were maybe confused about, and then also what they would really like to see in the next version of the prototype. And so we were able to collect all that data and create a list that we could then go back to the design team or to the client with and talk about, hey, do we want this for this version? Do we want to put this off maybe to version 2? And then finally, we create a system for the developers to use. So when a developer takes on this project, they have all the information that they need, whether that's colors or fonts or spacing, grids, or even very specific dimensions or distances that they should know about as they're designing or as they're developing the app. So that's Waggsy. Thanks so much for joining the walkthrough. I'm Douglas. I love working with clients on branding, web design, prototyping. So if there's any way I can help or support, feel free to get in touch.